Hello everyone. Welcome back to Pendulums. We are talking about how to use the pendulum. So in part one, we talked about how to cleanse the pendulum. Now we get to talk about how to use it and how to ask the question, get an answer. And so, if you're watching this one, if you haven't watched part one, definitely go back and watch part one, as that is step one in using the pendulum, is to cleanse the pendulum. And so really taking the time to cleanse it every time, once a month, however many times you feel your pendulum needs cleansed. But yeah, that is what we talk about in part one. So in part two, though, we're talking about how to use it. So after we've cleansed it, all we get to do is really just tune into it. Basically, whatever it is. And so what I like to do is, after I just cleansed it, I like to ground the crystal. And so if you see it right now, it's just like wiggling back and forth. And so just taking a moment to, I go from the top and I just pull the energy down into the ground. I pull the energy down and just allow it to really connect with the ground. And see, then it's still. And so that is how I do it. That is how I've like come across doing it. Don't quite remember how. But then after we've cleansed and grounded the pendulum, now we get to set the intention. So who do you want to contact? Who do you want to connect? Who do you want the answer to come from? And so my intention is to connect with my spirit guides. And so just setting that intention, you can think it, say it, write it down, whatever it is that helps you, but really just setting that intention and shutting off any other doorways, any portals or windows that are open to any other beings, shutting them off, only opening the one door that you want to connect with, whether it's spirit guides, angels, ancestors, galactic families, past selves, future selves, whatever it is, whoever it is, just really setting intention to connect with them specifically. Because just as a pendulum is a doorway into the energetic realms, into the astral realms, into the the spiritual side, the unseen forces, I guess you could say, so are tarot cards, so is the Ouija board, so are crystals. And so really setting the intention with all of these metaphysical tools is extremely important, or else you're just opening up and being like, okay, I'm here, who wants to talk to me? And then psychic attack or, other things. So really setting the intention of, I want to connect with these people for this specific reason. And then allowing that intention to set up a protective barrier around yourself. And so it's only you two connecting and contacting. You could contact your higher selves. You can contact your source, your higher power, whoever it is that you want to contact. You can connect with them through a pendulum. You can connect with them through tarot cards, crystals, or your own intuition. Like a lot of my stuff that I talk about is that you don't need all the gimmicks. And so you don't need a pendulum or tarot cards, crystals, or sage. It's all about the intention. And so when we are using them, it's all about the intention. So really setting the intention of, I am connecting with my spirit guides. I am connecting with my higher self. Really setting that intention. And so we have that intention set. I'm connecting with my spirit guides today. And then just asking, we need to set up the yes and no. And I like to do this every time because sometimes they like to change, which I'm like, you change your mind, I change my mind, it's all great. So really just asking, okay, what is the yes? Can you show me a yes? And then it'll spin one direction, or it may go forwards and backwards. And so spinning one direction, and then thank you, interesting. And then I do say thank you after every time I am ready to move on. And so thank you. It allows for recognition of it giving me energy. I give a gratitude energy back. And so really having that exchange, even with the crystal, with your spirit guides, because this is the conduit for communication. And then asking, show me a no. And then it'll show you a no, however that is. Usually it spins the other direction. And yes, there we go. My pendulum is timid when it starts to say no. But then it gets really excited. And so there we go, no. And then we have the thank you. And then we have, sometimes it may say maybe. Can you show me a maybe? And then so forwards and backwards for this one is maybe. And then what is side to side? Unknown. So side to side, so can you show me unknown? And then it'll go side to side. So just depending on your pendulum, on what you are using, Depends on how it goes. My first pendulum, thank you. My first pendulum went forwards and backwards for yes, side to side for no, and then it spun for maybe and unknown. So, and yes, unknown is a response because not everything is known in this universe, which is really exciting, keeps us on our toes. And even when we're connecting with the unseen forces, these aren't gods, these aren't all-knowing, omniscient beings, but they do have an outside perspective for us. And so just as if we were to ask a wise friend on advice, if we were to ask our parents on advice, or a financial advisor on our finances, we're going to ask our spirit guides spiritual information type of thing, and they don't have all the answers. A lot of times we have to find the answers for ourselves. And so just knowing that the answers that come through the pendulum are not always the that's it, that doesn't have to be all there is. And so setting up yes no is the next step. And so after we cleanse it and ground it and put the intention, setting up yes, no, and then you just ask the question. Just ask a question. I'm not going to ask a question today because I didn't have one set up, but just asking the question and then having it spin yes, having it spin no. And that's the other thing when people are like, pendulums are just you're moving your arm. But if you saw, when I move my arm, it's moving from the top. But when I ask, like when the pendulum is answering, show me a yes, it's moving from the bottom. So when people are asking like pendulums, that's just your subconscious answering, and I'm like, in a sense, yes, but my hand is not moving that big. Like if anything, I'm just a little shaky from the caffeine I had today. But it's going really big and it's moving from the bottom, thank you. And so that is the one thing that I just love about pendulums, is that is a visual representation of the energy of our connection to our own intuition, to our spirit guides. This is a way for us to connect with those more energetic beings that we don't always see. Not all of us see them, other people do, and I'm so excited for that clairvoyance. But yeah, so just asking the question, getting the answer, watch. So when we ask the question though, being open to a yes, being open to a no. And so if you ask a question and you have the answer in your mind, either you are influencing the response or you already know the answer and you don't need to be asking. But either way, you are influencing it to respond with, if you are asking like, should I do this? And you're thinking, please say no, please say no, please say no. It's gonna give you a no because that is the response that you want. It's similar to like Harry Potter when anything but Slytherin, you know? So really putting that intention there to ask openly for the answer, for the response. Not having expectations on the answer. And then just watch it spin, watch it go whatever direction it goes. And then at the end, as you've been seeing, always thank your pendulum, as it is an energetic exchange. It giving you information, you giving it gratitude. Giving you information, giving it gratitude. Holding space for it. And of course, you can ask for just to connect with the crystal. Since this is emerald, that is what my crystal pendulum is made out of, is emerald. And so if I need healing advice, I can go to spirit guides or archangels who specialize in healing, or I could go to my pendulum, and I've definitely gone to my crystal pendulum before and just be like, hey, what is your sage advice on healing? Type of stuff. And so really exciting. You can connect with so much through your pendulum. I hope this helps, but again, after every time, thank it. And then when you are ready to close out and be done with your pendulum, thank you pendulum, thank you guides, or whoever you connected with. I always like to hold it and just close off any cords from me. As anything with energy, there's always beings that are trying to attach themselves, and so just disconnecting from cords, closing portals, even the portal that you left open for your spirit guides, closing that off, and so you're not getting pings while you're driving, then all of a sudden you're just like, I'm driving, I need a second. So closing off any portals or windows, any doors, and disconnecting any cords. Really, really powerful. Let me know how this goes for you, and if you'd like, a one-on-one session, or you want to know more, or you want some guidance on how to use your pendulum, feel free to message me on Instagram at Holistic Movement Healing. Love to guide people through this, so definitely let me know how I can best support you. And yeah, if this video resonated, give it a big thumbs up for me. Comment down below how your experience with your pendulum is going. I always love to hear these stories. They're so interesting and so different for everyone. And then if you haven't already, subscribe for more, I guess, educational, spiritual videos. That is what I'm being called to do right now. So yeah, and then if it resonated and helped you at all, please share, please share. I just love getting this information out, and I really feel like this is something that more people can utilize. And so definitely, I'm just rambling right now, but see y'all next time, and yeah, have a good day.